Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Olympus 725RD DWVH 26D. This is a rim-mounted deadbolt is what it would be. This is a fairly common piece of equipment when you are installing material, when you're installing locks into casework, lockers, cabinets, doors, things other than full-size doors, really. Drawers, this sort of lock and its different variations, its derivatives, is extremely common. And generally, this is not an example. This client is not an example. This is going to a hospital. But woodworkers generally are who purchase these because they're building all the casework that they then ship to their client base. And of course, hospitals are among those. So what we have here is the 725RD, and this is a rim deadbolt. This is oriented in the vertical sort of orientation where when you rotate the key, the bolt will come up out of the housing. And what I'm driving at is the orientation of the cylinder housing itself and where the throw member is for the small format core, and this is small format, by the way. How do I know that? I do because it says IC, interchangeable core. Yes, Olympus makes other IC models. This is small format because the size of the lobes at the top and bottom are identical. All other manufacturers that aren't small format, the bottom lobe will be larger than the bottom, or Corbin might be the same size, but they're substantial. You can tell that they're larger than this, is the bottom line. This will come with a plastic disposable, what would we call it? An operator, a key? Disposable construction key is I think what we would call it. And what's important about knowing which one to order is because, well, you want the orientation of the housing to be such that the key goes in the right way, not sideways or not upside down. So for instance, if you had this lock and this same client ordered some of the IH, which is inverted, if you had the requirement for it to bolt like this, your key would be upside down. So this client, literally, these locks over here, they have this rotated 180 degree. Let's take some dimensional properties and then we'll move on with the video. Overall projection of the cylinder housing itself, about 1 1/16". Its diameter, about 1 1/8". The overall width of the body itself, about 1 5/8". Overall height, about 2 inch. The overall thickness, including the flange, it's just heavy on 1/2 inch. And these center to center on these screw holes, if we were to gauge that to our best ability possible, we'd see that it would be about 2 1/4 inch, something in that range. Overall height, about 2 1/8, if I haven't already given that to you. This is also going to include a strike plate, and I'm going to show you the different ways. Well, we're going to look at Olympus showing us the different ways. You're going to need 4 screws, 2 for the body, 2 for the strike, and then this piece of black plastic. Well, that is a spacer, and the spacer is meant to go down inside of here because small format best is available in 3 cylinder lengths. 5-pin, which you never see, but they do make it. 6-pin, which is very common, and then 7-pin, quite ubiquitous. If you're running a 7-pin in here, you wouldn't use that spacer. If you're putting a 6-pin length cylinder in here, then it's recommended that you use the spacer. And a 5-pin, yeah, you're going to need 2 of those. Those in 30 years, and I'm not a interchangeable core expert in the sense of working with it all the time, but I am exposed to small format, or I should say interchangeable core cylinders as well. I've never seen a 5-pin, but it is in the catalog. Why would you ever need a 5-pin small format? You know, you've got a more petite application. You've got a lock like this that will only take a 5-pin because it's a smaller format, maybe a cam lock platform. The other thing that people will ask is what's the projection of the bolt? It looks like it's about 1/2 inch. The height of that bolt, about 3/4. Thickness of that bolt, about 3/8. Okay, so let's continue this video. Let's talk about why you might need it. We'll switch to the screen view and we'll look at the supporting documentation and we'll talk further about why you might need it. Let's do that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here's the lock that we're looking at. Let's take a look at some images that we have posted down below. Here they are. Packaging, everything removed from the packaging. Obviously in the finished component, that's the exposed component's going to be finished. That's a 26D, that's in the part number. There's your front view, your throw member slightly askew, showing a different perspective on the unit. And then your accessory material. You know, I didn't give you the dimensions of the strike. I'll just quickly read it off. The overall length of the strike is 1 7/8. Its overall width is about 5/8, and my guess it's about 35 thousandths thick. Just a thin piece of metal. Now, let's look at the extended description information, which is here. IC core latch bolt lock. I wouldn't call it a latch bolt. I would call it a deadbolt lock, but we're copying that from the manufacturer's page. It is surface mount, but they call it a rim lock. A rim lock is used because the term rim is used because it is mounted. Here's your door. It's mounted along the perimeter of the lock, the perimeter. And indeed, a lock like that is going to be installed right there. Yeah, bolt will come up here around the perimeter. Deadbolt cabinet door or drawer lock. Key removable in both locked and unlocked position. That's called non-key retaining. Standard locks are non-handed. Yeah, this vertical application, you know, as long as you're installing it so the bolt mounts above where you're installing it, this would be non-handed. Meaning, well, we'll get to it, but in these documents, but left-hand or right-hand applications. There are key retaining functions. I believe you can convert this to being key retaining, where you can only pull the key when you're in the locked position. That's what key retaining means. This is a conversion to the best part number. Vertical hand, VH. The dimensions, the finish, includes the spacer, the strike, and the plastic actuator to test functionality without the core. So what they're saying is this disposable construction core, that's what that's called. It's very common that you're going to have locks that need to be prepped and installed, and the cores, the permanent cylinders, have not been delivered to the job site. This allows you to test the functionality to make sure that you're good. You've got it installed correctly. Cores are not included. Accepts any small format. Best is the company who patented the small format concept in 1919 and awarded in 1921. Arrow and Falcon and all others are copies of the Best concept. You can also insert any derivatives of small format, including ones that are electronic in nature. Several documents here. Let's just go through them one at a time. Catalog page. This is a great document because it's going to allow you to understand the 725 RD in its simplest form. The entire Olympus catalog, and I'll show you where that is in a moment. The right side gives you the Cliff's Notes, so to speak. So you'll always want to check that out. Specifications, keying information, what's included, and what you can get with it in addition to that if you want. And what's really nice about this is they quickly show you the 4 primary versions. Vertical is most common. Inverted, uncommon, but this client happened to order some. Then you've got the handed units. Now the problem with these handed units is they're showing these with the keys on their side, and that's how that's going to be. But that would show you what those would look like. I can't think of how the lock itself is going to change mechanically when you rotate it, 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. But clearly they do, because they force us to use different part numbers. So decide on your application which of these 4 that you require. Your part number is going to be here, your finishes, and then your cylinder length, which is going to be the length of this. How long do you need it to be? 1 1/16 or 1 3/8? 1 1/16 is most common. but we've sold all of them. If you want a key retaining version, you'll have to switch the part number to this. Pretty handy document. Next one is data sheet. A lot of this will be a copy of prior information. This obviously is, as is this. This is new information. This shows you how they install. They're assuming all cabinet doors swing out. So this is what a left-hand door looks like. The door industry would probably call that something, would certainly call that something different, but in the safe industry, in the cabinet door industry, that's a left-hand. Your included accessories. Architectural specifications. If you need to convey to someone what you want, this document would be the one to use to lift that information. Installation instructions. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This is just going to show you the general concept. You're going to drill a hole is the bottom line. You're going to drill a hole at the proper location is what that boils down to. A location that they don't just freely offer. So the center line of the hole is 7/8 from the top edge. So 7/8 from the center line of this hole to the top edge of the lock. That could very likely be your back set, unless you needed to alter that for some reason. But there it is. The next document. Oh, and then also, how far over from either side would you place it? Well, I can't think of any hard and fast rule, but you know, you've got 2 3/16 center to center of these screw holes. You know, an overall width, I may not have provided. It's about 2 5/8. So you're obviously going to need to be at least inch and 5/16 over. You know, from here to the vertical center line to the outside edge is inch and 5/16. So you want to probably be a little bit further than inch and 5/16. Then they have the handing chart. And the handing chart is fun. That just, again, shows you that information. Now, what they're not showing us here is, and I thought that I had it, but different ways to install. I did miss page 2 of that document. Forgive me. Different ways to install this. Meaning you might have a inset application or a rabbited application or something here that's going to cause you to have to modify your mounting method. But a flush inset application is what they're showing here. And I have another document from their 500DR, which kind of illustrates the concept as well. You know, there's different ways that you might encounter having to install this. So be mindful. You could end up needing to alter the installation, longer body, spacers perhaps, whatever the case might be, to get that installed. This is a 500DR. It's not the same lock that we're looking at all. So to talk about those spacers, and I didn't realize there was a page 2. They do make 2 different thickness spacers, which was illustrated if you needed to build that body back a little bit because you had some sort of unusual frame condition up here. Those spacers are available in 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch. They talk about cores here as well. Cores aren't, as they said earlier, not included, but best typical keyways that we have. Fun fact, the Schlage C keyway is the reverse of the best A keyway. I understand that the gentleman who created the C keyway for Schlage worked it best, and he literally drew the reverse of the A keyway, and that is the Schlage C keyway. I have that on, I can't say first-hand knowledge or second-hand knowledge, but probably third-hand knowledge. A gentleman who worked at Schlage for many, many years and knew absolutely the origin of the C keyway. So very interesting. There is a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page. From here, you can pull up not only all of the Olympus products that we sell, by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the product catalog. I would very much encourage a dive into the product catalog because it will really allow you to become quite expertly familiar with all things Olympus. That format that I had indicated earlier, specs on the right, you know, the cliff notes over here, will allow you to review all that. The 725RD is literally a small format compatible core, but as we get into the catalog further, okay, other locks with other platforms available for interchangeable core. The Yale style, Medico makes a Yale style, which is the Medico 31 style. Corbin Russwin they have. Schlage they have. I would think they do Sargent as well. The point being, and then of course conventional cylinders as well. The point being is this catalog is full of everything that you could possibly think of when it comes to very high quality, smaller platform locks. This cam lock that we did, that is here on page 43, let's just hop to page 43. Okay. I had a client, the National Park Service, who was using cam locks for something, and cam locks come with tiny little keys. These gentlemen at the National Park Service were always breaking or shearing the keys for some reason, and I was able to upgrade them to a Olympus cam lock that takes a full-size best key blank. Problem solved. They stopped shearing the key blanks. So Olympus is a company that you can rely on for solutions, and in fact, those cam locks needed to be manufactured in a modified sense, and they were able to handle it quite easily in stride. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. In conclusion, I absolutely encourage you to review their catalog. It's not only that they have a comprehensive offering of these types of locks, but it's also comprehensive offering. The catalog's pretty nice. Generally in stock or very short lead times and exceptional customer service. Well, what I meant to say was exceptional technical support. I can't speak about their customer service because I don't interact with customer service as much, but when it comes to tech support, really, really great people. They really understand their product line at an absolute expert level. To them, for that, I say thank you. Any questions on the Olympus 725RD drawer lock in a vertical orientation or vertical hand? Satin chrome finish. It's also available in satin brass as well. I don't think, I forget what was on that page in terms of other finishes. Let's just pull it up quickly. 725RD. Ooh, okay, glad I looked. Satin chrome, polished brass, satin brass, oil rub bronze is what you can do in this exact lock. Any questions on this or any other Olympus product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.